Today, we're diving into something we interact with literally every single day, and that's quality. Now, most of us probably think of quality as just checking a box, right? Making sure a product isn't broken, passing an inspection, that kind of thing. But as we dig into the source material today, we're going to discover that true quality goes way deeper. It's fascinating, and frankly, it is a lot more profitable than just meeting the bare minimum.
All right, let's kick things off with part one, the Sony mystery.
So we're going to start with this really incredible paradox from the 1960s that left American executives completely scratching their heads. Back then, Sony was manufacturing the exact same television model for the US market in two entirely different plants. One was in San Diego, California, and the other was in Tokyo, Japan. Now get this. Both plants achieved what was considered an absolutely perfect run, 0 defects. Every single TV passed inspection because the color density fell perfectly within the acceptable engineering limits. And yet, American consumers overwhelmingly preferred the Japanese televisions. But why? Well, the secret was uniformity. See, the TVs from San Diego varied pretty widely inside those acceptable limits. But Tokyo, they clustered the color density as tightly as humanly possible around the absolute perfect central value. The consumers could literally see the difference with their own eyes. Which brings us to a really provocative question to ponder. What is actually more important for competitiveness? Is it minimizing variability, or is it just simply meeting the specifications? I mean, is quality just about passing a final inspection, or is there a much deeper principle of value at play here? To solve the deeper lessons behind this whole mystery, we need to quickly trace the evolution of quality itself. Here's our roadmap. We'll cover the historical evolution, define quality, check out the Toyota approach, break down the costs, and finally, look at how we handle quality today. Moving right along, part 2, historical evolution. Historically speaking, enforcing quality was incredibly high stakes, like life or death. In ancient Babylonia under the Code of Hammurabi, if a builder made a house that collapsed and killed the occupants, the builder was executed. And the Phoenicians, they really weren't much gentler. If an inspector allowed bad quality through, their hand was amputated. Yikes. Thankfully, by the Middle Ages, things cooled down a bit and we moved to guild marks that relied on an artisan's reputation. But the real game changer happened in the 1930s. That's when Walter Schuhart introduced statistical process control. He finally moved us away from brutal manual checks and into the era of using intelligent statistics.
But even as we modernized, the early industrial age still had a pretty massive blind spot. Take Henry Ford, for example. He completely revolutionized production with his massive assembly lines. But his old way of quality control relied really heavily on a 100% final product inspection. You'd build the entire car, and then at the very end of the line, an inspector checks if it meets acceptable tolerances. The glaring problem there? Well, if it's wrong, you've already wasted all that time, all that energy, and all those materials building a defective product.
Which leads us to part 3, defining quality.
Quality management legend Edward Deming has this absolute eye-opener of a perspective. He warns us that merely meeting specifications just to create a quote-unquote satisfied customer, it's just not enough. Why? Because a satisfied customer might still leave you for a competitor who offers a slightly better deal. True quality is about creating loyal customers, customers who brag about your product to their friends. The profit from a returning loyal customer can literally be up to 10 times higher than trying to acquire a new one. So quality isn't compliance, quality is loyalty.
When we synthesize the views from all the grandmasters of quality, people like Duran, Crosby, Ishiwaka, a very clear pattern emerges. The modern definition of quality is totally intertwined with the customer. It's about meeting their needs. It's about anticipating and exceeding their expectations, understanding the broader market, and driving absolute, undeniable satisfaction. It's a dynamic, living process, not some static checklist you throw in a filing cabinet.
Let's look at how this works in practice in part 4, the Toyota approach.
To truly achieve that intense level of customer devotion, we really have to look at the Japanese manufacturing mindset that exploded after World War II. Contrast Toyota's process with that old Ford-to-factory method we talked about a minute ago. While Ford relied on catching errors at the very end of the line, Toyota completely flipped the script. They embedded quality directly into the creation process itself. Their philosophy was simple. You don't inspect quality out of a product, you build it in. Here's exactly how Toyota pulled this off. Step 1, do it right from the start. Just don't wait for the inspector. Step 2 is this brilliant concept called Jidoka, and this was totally revolutionary at the time.
Any worker at literally any time was empowered to physically stop the entire production line if they spotted an error. I mean, think about the level of trust that takes. And step 3 is Kaizen, or continuous improvement. Every single person in the company takes personal responsibility for making the process just a little bit better every single day. By relentlessly eliminating errors during the process, they created a vastly superior, highly uniform product.
But what does this mean for the bottom line? Let's check out Part 5, the costs of quality. Now, you might be sitting there thinking that empowering everyone to halt a multi-million-dollar production line sounds incredibly expensive. But let's look at the hard business reality here. When a company is in a stage of what we call ignorance, they spend very little money on prevention. But because of that, their failure costs, think defects, returns, wasted materials, PR disasters, are massively high, which elevates the total cost to the company. But in an advanced stage, a company heavily invests in prevention upfront, things like robust training. And because they do that, the massive unpredictable costs of failure drop to almost zero. The end result? The overall total cost of quality is actually significantly reduced. It really just boils down to this ultimate, undeniable financial truth. It is strictly cheaper to prevent a problem than it is to correct one. Investing in quality upfront is just a tiny fraction of the cost of paying for a massive disaster, a product recall, or a lost customer later on. Let's bring it all home with Part 6, Quality Today. Today's global frameworks, like the PMBOK 8 for project management and the various ISO standards, they make this abundantly clear. Quality is no longer just the absence of defects. A project can totally finish on time, come in exactly on budget, and meet every single technical spec on paper. But if the customer's actual experience using it is terrible, that is not a high-quality project. Today, quality is all about value delivery. It's about adaptability, fitness for use, generating real trust, and sustaining performance over the long haul. Which, honestly, completely resolves our Sony mystery from the beginning of this explainer. The San Diego plant, they merely met the specifications. But the Tokyo plant, they delivered true value and fitness for use by relentlessly focusing on uniformity. They went way beyond just checking a box. So I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to take back to your own work. In your projects and your daily tasks, are you simply meeting specifications just to pass an inspection, or are you actively working to deliver real, lasting value? Think about that the next time you go to mark a task as done. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.